Hi folks, welcome back to another Unreal Engine animation tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to edit an animation using the Curve Editor's Transform tool. This tool is incredibly powerful for fine-tuning your animations by giving you full control over the keyframes you've selected. Let's dive right in and see how it works. Alright guys, as you can see here, we have a simple sequencer with our Wukong character in it. The link is in the description. If you like the character, you can download it from there. And we want to add an animation to this character, so I'm going to search for an animation. Yeah, this one is okay. And what I want to do here is to kind of change how this tail is moving and bending over this action. So what I need to do is to bake the animation on the FK control rig, and by doing that you can see that the whole animation has baked on the bones. Now if you press the G button on the keyboard, you will be able to see all the bones of the character, and by pressing on each of the bones, the related bone will be selected on either sequencer and the curve editor. Now let's expand one of these tail bones, and as you can see, we don't have any movements on the location axis, and all the movements are related to rotation of each bone. And if I'm going to select one of these keyframes, as you can see, by changing the position and the value, the tail bone is moving simultaneously. So in order to be able to make some modification on the tail of the character, I'm going to expand all the tail bones on the curve editor, and by holding the control key on the keyboard, let's select all the rotation axis of each of the bones. And now that we've selected all the rotation axes, as you can see, we have too many keyframes to make some modifications on the curve. So I'm going to select all the keyframes and go to the filter section. And here we have some filter functions, and I'm going to use the smart reduce one. Now let's set the tolerance to something around 20 and sample rate to 24 frames per second and apply it. And as you can see, we have reduced the number of keyframes, and tweaking on the curves now would be much easier than before. Now I'm going to select these keyframes because this is a section that I want to tweak on its motion. And let's press the F button on the keyboard to zoom on the selected keyframes, and this is the transform tool that I was talking about. Now guys, the transform tool is a lattice on the selected keyframes with the center, bottom, and upper borders and the edge borders. Now, first I'm going to keep the center point fixed at the center of the lattice, then I will move the bottom border closer to the center, and as you can see, this compresses the curve near the bottom edge, scaling the keyframes values inward. Now I will move the bottom border farther from the center, which expands the curve and scales the keyframes values outward. Now let's scale it back, and next I will place the pivot point on the upper border. And now when I move the bottom border closer to the upper one, the lattice compresses upward, adjusting the curves accordingly. Similarly, if I place the pivot point on the bottom border and move the upper border closer to the bottom one, the lattice compresses downward. And finally, I will place the center point along the edges of the lattice and move the opposite edge closer and farther from the selected edge. And this transforms the keyframes horizontally, affecting the timing of the animation curve. And the pivot point of the lattice can snap to the edges, corners, and the center as you move it, giving you precise control over how the keyframes are adjusted. And this flexibility makes the transform tool extremely useful for quickly refining animations to get the exact look you're aiming for. Whether you're scaling, compressing, or repositioning your curves, this tool offers you a powerful and intuitive control to make your animations look exactly how you want. I hope this tutorial helped you and understand the possibilities of the transform tool, and if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more Unreal Engine tips and tutorials. And as always, feel free to leave any question or thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.